Dive into the world of data visualization with our comprehensive Excel chart tutorial. Discover the simplicity of transforming your data into compelling stories using line, column, and pie charts. This step-by-step guide will also introduce you to advanced techniques such as dual-axis charting and the dynamic map feature, empowering you to present your data in more insightful ways. Your journey to mastering Excel's powerful charting capabilities begins here. If our video enlightens your data presentation skills, consider supporting us with a like and subscribe for more valuable content.
In this module, I want to look at basic charts. So I'm going to focus on a simple column chart, a line chart, a pie chart, and have a quick look at maps. So on the screen, I've got some data which I'm going to use for a column chart. So to highlight the data that you want to appear in the chart, you need to select it on the screen. So I'm starting that yellow cell in cell A2 and just highlighting the blue area. I don't want the column totals or the column row to appear in the chart. I've then come off the Home tab onto the Insert tab, and in the middle of the ribbon are Charts. You have recommended charts and then lots of different options. These are the three that I want to look at today initially, and then Maps. So at the top you've got column, in there lots of different column types, and as you move your mouse across each of these, you get like a little preview. You cannot just look at these and say I'll have that one because it's pretty. They all represent different types of data. The first one is what I'm going to use. The second one is a stat column, what's called a stat column, and then there's another stat column as a percentage, and then you've got the 3D versions of those and the bar chart versions of those, and then a 3D bar chart. So for this example, I'm going to take the top one, top left-hand one, 2D column. Now once the chart comes onto the screen, you can move it by selecting the line around the edge of it away from these little circles, because that would allow you to make this a larger or smaller. So I'm just sitting there and moving it underneath the table and then using one of these little circles to extend it slightly so you can see it better. Now the chart title itself, if I click on it, you can physically type Waterloo casualties in there, or which I find quite cool, you click up on the formula bar, you type equals on the formula bar and then click on Waterloo casualties. When you tick that, it will put that information on the chart, and that will always be there. So if I change this, if I just type some rubbish for a second, that will then come into the chart. Whatever you call that table will be in the chart. I just did undo there, Control Z for undo. Now back onto the chart. Down the right hand side, you've got a series of icons. At the top, you've got a plus. If I click on plus, you can see you can tick these things on or off. Data labels, data tables. You don't need to put them on. I'm not putting them on. I'm just showing you. You've got these different options. I will put data labels on, so you've got them on. You've got to be careful with that. If you've got too many columns, that can get a bit cluttered with all the labels on, so you might need to just watch that. Under there, you have a paint brush with some style types you've got down here, and I'm going to pick this dark one, and then the chart background itself becomes black. Now all of these features I'm clicking here also appear at the top on the ribbon. There's the same style look, and you've got the format options as well, where you can change lots of things. But just have a quick look at this one, filter. This gives you the ability to tick things on and filter it off. So if I tick the French option off and then apply, that just hides that French column, and you might want to talk about these two and then bring that French one back, tick it on, apply, and then you've got all three again. So that's quite a good little feature there. Now, to format a chart yourself, you need to just do a simple thing. You point to wherever you want to format. So I'm pointing to chart area. That would be the chart title. That would be the plot area. That would be the legend down the bottom there. Then you've got the series and so on and so on. Wherever you want to format, you just point your mouse and double click. When you double click, you'll get this pane popping out from the right hand side, and it says format chart area. If this is already on the screen, I'll just pull that over a little bit. If it's already on the screen, you just need to click around one click, and then this will change over to reflect where you have just clicked. So it now says format chart title. If I click on that, it'll say format series. Click on the legend, it'll say format legend, and so on and so on. I'm going back onto the chart area because I want the whole background, which at the moment is black, to change. you have three options here. You've got the paint pot with two options, which is what I'm going to use. And then you've got this, what looks like a bishop's hat. No doubt somebody who's a bishop will say that's not. There you've got some fancy formatting options where you can change the transparency and things like that and the glow of a bar. And then you've got this little cross symbol at the end there, which is all about size and properties. But I'm going to focus on the paint pot for this. And I've got two options, fill and border. I'm not going to do anything to the border, but what I say for the fill will apply to some of this. At the top, it's got no fill. I'm clicking on that, and it does what it says on the tin, no fill, so you can see through. Now I've got a problem on mine because the text is white because of the style I chose, but I've actually put the font option up the top there so I can just quickly go back and click on automatic and it'll put mine to black. If you haven't done that, you basically just right click. Anything you right click in, add up to the quick access toolbar, and then it will be there. But if you haven't, format, and then you can change the text. So that was the top one, no fill. Quite a lot of people like it like that, and they don't want a border either. So you can just see it's like that. So it looks like it's sitting on the sheet itself. It looks quite good, to be honest. Now if I click back onto it, now you can see what I did there. I've clicked there and two boxes have come up. This box is the plot area. Don't want to format that. I want to format the whole of the back. Otherwise you'll have two different colors. So next one down is solid fill. I'm ticking on that one. And then you've got different options of picking different colors here. I pick a different color. And then you've got this nice little bar where you might want to just fade that out a little bit. You can play around with that and just create your own sort of pastoral color there. Next one down is gradient fill. Gradient fill allows you to do this. You've got some preset stops. I'll just pull these two off so you can see how it works. Starting on the left, you pick a color. So I'm going to pick red. The whole top part goes red. And now you're clicking on this bar, and wherever you click with a gradient stop, you can then change the color from that point on. And again, you're changing the color each time. You go for different color sets, and you end up creating a bit of a mess unless you're really good with colors. So some people might like that. I'm not too keen. You have got some preset options in there. Fading colors. You've got the options to change it to radial, and then you've got options in there once you've done that to maybe make a bullseye, and then you're totally losing the plot in my view. So I'm not a fan of this, as you can gather, but what I am a fan of is this next one where you can put a picture in the background of a chart. Now when you click on it, default, you get not a picture, you get one of these preset textures, and you can click on some of these if you so wish. None of these are great, and they've been around a long time. As long as I've been doing this, they've been around, but not great. A bit like kitchen top tables. But if you want to insert your own picture, you need to go and get them off your computer. Now, if I click on Insert, it gives me the option to go from File, Stock Images, Online Pictures, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is click online and search for the Battle of Waterloo. So I'll just put Battle of Waterloo to see what comes up. And then I'll pick one of these. So these are all battle scenes. That's the one I had. I'll just go for that one. Insert, and then that sits in the back. Now, obviously, that's a bit intrusive. So this is where that transparency bar would play in again. If I just pull that over a little bit, fade that out, or try to fade that out a bit more, maybe like that. Okay, so it's relevant to the data and it's in the background. You can still see the data. That's the bars. That's the key. Now, if you want information inside these columns, so this is the French, which is the British, that one. So let's say I'm going to change some of these figures so I get a bigger figure there. So I'll go 20,000. Too much, because everything else has gone tiny. Take one of them twos off. That's better. Right, so I want a picture of the Duke of Wellington in these columns. So I'm back over to the paint pot. I'm back onto picture. Now when I click the picture, it puts the same picture in, but I'm going to change that by going online Again, I have actually got these pictures on my computer, so I could have done that. Typing in the Duke of Wellington, and then I should get some pictures of him, and that one will do. Inserting that, and there he is. So I need to get this transparency back across to the left, so I don't want him faded out. So he's stretched a bit. I've done this on purpose because this is the option I want there. Stack and scale. So for every 10,000 casualties, 10, yeah, let's go 10. I want a picture of him. So you're changing that scale in there, 10,000, and then press enter on that, and then you should get that picture representing whatever. Now you can do that with any picture. Once you've done that, if I just go over to insert picture, and you've got stock images, I'll go for icons. Got a little spider somewhere, I think. I'll go for a little aeroplane. I can find one. There we go, that'll do. It's not great, but I'll do. So I just inserted that anyhow. Now that's gone into the back of the cell there, I'll just click that out, so it's a bigger picture. I'm doing Control C to copy. I'm clicking on the Duke of Wellington's column, and I'm doing Control V to paste, and that should paste that aircraft in there, or any other image that you might want to put in this. So I'm just going to undo that because I don't like it. Get rid of that. So that's how you format a chart. You can make it as good as you possibly can using these tools. Now, let's have a look at a line chart. So the line chart, I'll get rid of this. I'm not going to do any more formatting for now. I'm just going to highlight across the top from yellow to yellow. Go insert, this time it's going to be line. Same process, you can't just select any one you like. You need to read what it's doing, whether it's relevant or not. You'll get the little previews. That's quite good. But I'm going to go for this one, line with markers, and then I'll elongate it like I did before, so it's a bit wider. You can see it quite clearly. And I'll do the chart title again. So I'm clicking on that, going on to the formula bar, typing equals, and clicking on that title, ticking that, sucks that through. Now, when I look at this, this is okay. It's telling me the red line is the target and the blue line is the actual, so we're not doing great. But having done this, I want to change this into what's called a combination chart. So this blue line, if I click on it, I want it to be a column. Now to do that, you need to go up to the top where it says change chart type. Click on there. It will already pick up combo as an option. Now I could have come and done that straight away. It's not this option I want though, it's this one. And as soon as I click on that, you can see that the line is there and then I've got the actuals. That's what I want. That's called a combo chart. I click OK to that, it will then change it over. So I'm quite happy with that now. Next one, pie chart. Let's go into that one. So I've already got these on there. I want to recreate these. So if I just delete these off, and the best way to delete a chart get rid of it completely is to click into the top right hand corner, press delete, and the whole thing will go. Because if you're not in the top right hand corner and you press delete, you just delete the elements instead of the whole chart. Eventually we'll get rid of the whole chart. I'll get rid of this donut chart as well. Now to create that first pie chart, I need to highlight all of the yellow area, including that blank cell. And then I'm going up to the insert tab and selecting pie. And I'm going to go for this 3D pie. There we go. It's picked up the labels. I don't want the dates across like that, so I'm going to delete those. I want them on the actual segments themselves. And to do that, you go to the plus and you go to data labels. There's a little arrow at the end, you follow it across, and data callouts will give you the breakdown percentage of each of these segments, which I quite like. Now, another thing I want to do is I want to pull out this little green segment. Click on it. Now, when I click on that little green segment, all of the segments have got little circles around them. They're all selected. But if I click that one again, now it's just that one that's got these two little circles around, and if I slide that out, it will allow me to pull it out, except I did the wrong one. I want the green one, and then pull that out. Don't pull it out too far, otherwise the whole thing the rest of it will go too small. Last thing I want to do is click into the top right hand corner on this, go up to the Format tab and set it to a specific size, and I want it to be 7 centimeters square. So I'm pressing 7, then enter, and then the little chart is 7 by 7. If you've done that, don't then sit on these circles and start trying to move it because you'll adjust the size. Now, to get the females, you're doing this. You start in the blank yellow cell, and the reason you start there is so you pick up the labels. You highlight the dates, you hold your control key down, and you click on the word female and highlight the figures, and that's how you miss out a column. And then you just repeat the process, going for pi, 3D pi, getting rid of those labels, clicking on the little plus symbol, go for data labels, follow it across, pick data callout, click on the green segment, click it again so it's isolated, pull it out, click on the white, that's the chart area, go up to format, set the size 7 by 7, and then move it so it's next to the other one. Because then what you can do is this. If you hold your shift key down, you can click on the other chart. So now they're both selected. Leaving your mouse on either of these lines, just right mouse click, and you'll be able to group them as a pair, like so. So you create an extra box, which you can then pick up and move them around as a pair. You can still click on them individually and move them, but they've got this extra group box, which allows you to move them as a set. So that's quite useful to know about if you're going to create a dashboard in Excel and you don't want to be individually moving elements of it, just the whole thing. If I want to put that back up there, I can do. Just click on this one and move it up so it's back, like so. So that's how you create a pie chart. Now, the donut chart that was over here is sitting in the pie chart. So if I just highlight this for a second, go to insert pie, still in there, and then you're selecting donut, and then it just picks that information like so. And the way I've got that, it's with a data validation list and lookup. So every time I select somebody else, it will give me their donut chart like so. I'll cover that later on. This stuff up here. Now the next bit is this adjusting a chart that you've already got. So what I want to do is create a column chart first of all, and then put some target lines, these lines, low, average, high. So starting with this little list, I'm highlighting that data first off. I'm going to the Insert tab. I'm selecting column, first one. That's what I want. But now I want to add these extra ones as lines. So what you do now, instead of going into it as we did before, you go up to here, select data, and you can then click on add. So the series name is going to be low, and then the actual data is going to be this data like so. If I bring that back, now it's clicking OK to that, and I'll just add them again because I need to change these to lines in a second. So add the other one. So the series name would be average. The data is this stuff. So you might be sitting there, why don't I just highlight the whole thing to start off with and do it like that? Well, I could have done, but I'm showing you this feature. So that's high, and then that's that one, like so. Oops. Like so, and then OK to that, and then we need to click OK to this. And each of these, if I just make this a little bit bigger, we need to change to a line. So the red, click on all the reds, change chart type. That needs to be a line. So the red needs to be a line with markers. I'll go for that one. That needs to be a line with markers as well. And so does that, line with markers, like so. Click OK and you get your 3 lines like that. Add your data labels for the whole chart. If I click on the whole chart, see what happens there. And this might be a bit cluttered. Stick it on. It is definitely cluttered. I don't want that. Maybe just on the blue. Add data labels. Okay, we'll get away with that. But that's how you can add extra things once you've got your chart on the screen. If you didn't think about it initially, that's how you do that. So on the screen, I've got an example of some data. I've got country, county, and then a figure. And then the map displayed by Microsoft Bing is showing you that data area. Now, if I delete this map and do this again for you, get rid of that. So basically, highlight the area, go to the Insert tab, and the Maps feature is in with the Charts area, or in the Charts group. And then you can just click on that, find a map, and then it does drop on the screen unformatted. Now, if you click on the chart area and then type in the title or whatever you want to call it, so this is picnic areas, that's one thing you can do. And then the rest of this is about formatting this. Now, you do need the internet for this to work, because if you don't, obviously can't access Microsoft Bing, you can't get these maps. So that's what the key is. It will sit there without the internet, but you need the internet to get it first off. Now, if you want to format this, normally this format chart area wouldn't be on the screen. You basically just double click on it and it comes up with the relevant bit. So you've got the fill and border, and then what you need to be clicking on is the areas that you want to select. So I've clicked on this shaded area, which is North Yorkshire, and I want to format this slightly different to what it's showing at the moment. So on this area, format data series, you've got these three little bars, like a little bar chart. You've got these three sets, and then a different option at the bottom there for colours, which I'll change in a second. So these are just different layouts. If you click on each one of these, you can decide which one you find more appealing or more relevant. I'm going to leave this one on automatic. Now, map area, you've got only regions with data, which is that one. State and province, which is that one, and then you get everything shaded slightly. And country and region, and then multiple countries, which we haven't got, because it's all one country. It's just going to show us Europe. I don't want that, so I'll put that back on automatic for now. And then labels, best fit only. So it's going to be quite hard to see the labels in that sort of scale. Now, color scheme, let's go for 3, and then you've got the scales there. So if I change the area to only regions with data, you've got lowest level, which is, let's change this to, the lowest level can be red, and the mid can be amber, and then the top level can either be blue or green. I'll go for green just to keep it in a traffic light sort of sequence. And those are the colours that you've got there. So there is the map coloured up for you. And if you go back into format this and want to change anything, you can do. So what I'll do is I'll just change it, put it to automatic, see what that does. It looks slightly better actually, because it stands out a bit more. And I'll leave that one off there. Let's go for this. Let's go for state and province, see what that one does. That's got all that on already. Country, region, yeah, I like that as well. And then if I go for Europe, it's quite hard to see, but I'm sure you can make the thing bigger so it stands out a little better. So we'll go for automatic, and it'll just bring it back in like that. Now I've made the graph bigger, you can see the labels: none, best fit, show all. So you can't actually see that one unless I make this a lot bigger than what it is already. It's not going to have it. West Yorkshire. Don't know why it starts with an L. The next one is charts on 2 axes, where you've got data that is completely different in terms of size, like this one. income and students. No good doing this, highlighting that and doing insert column because you can hardly see the students. So if I just delete that off, what you need to do is go insert and select a combo chart from scratch. So if I click on that, that's the one I want, but it hasn't got the axis on a secondary column. So now you see the difference across the top there. You've got a column. I'll click on that one because that's the one I want. So you've got the money down the left. You've got the numbers of students down the right. So you've got them both covered. You can flick these around if you went into change chart type. You can change them around here. So you could have the students on the left and the money on the right, and vice versa. You could change the line and column around. It's totally up to you. But that's what's called a combination chart, similar to what we did initially, but this one is on two separate axes. So that's all I want to talk about in this little set. Hopefully this information is of use. Thank you for your time and I'll catch you in the next one.